On behalf of all of us here with the Calgary Flames, my name is Beasley saying so long. Enjoy your evening. Right now, Brendan Parker and Cory Sarich standing by with tonight's Flames TV live post-game show brought by Original 16.
You can look for new limited edition 15 packs of Original 16 Canadian Pale Ale. Each pack includes a mix of collectible cans for the ultimate Flames fan to proudly display. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames.
Hi everyone and welcome inside Flames Post Game Live. It's brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich and breaking down an entertaining one here tonight against the Los Angeles Kings, a team they played just over 1 week ago. It was in Los Angeles, and as Daryl Sutter laid out this morning, a few high-end, at least high-scoring games against this team. Tonight was kind of textbook, almost playoff style in terms of low scoring and maybe a couple of non-goals in there. But what'd you make of tonight overall and the way that the Flames got it done?
Yeah, there were a lot of goals and a lot scored on the Flames side, but unfortunately a few of them called back.
Yeah, exactly.
This was much more enjoyable to watch than the last one. I only made it through the first period of the last game. So,
right.
No, it had a different feel tonight. They had some grit right from the start. The Flames came out, they were bumping, they were banging. I thought that their fourth line did a really great job early of kind of controlling the play and getting things going, and it kind of allowed everybody else to get rolling. And in the second period, I thought they really took the game over.
Yeah. Well, and let's bring in our first guest as well, just fresh out of the locker room. Andrew Mangiapane stops in, and congrats on the win. First of all, obviously huge for your team. What did you make of it tonight? Just the way it unfolds. Obviously a little strange in that there was, I think, by the end of it, 3 goals called back. But how did you get it done?
Yeah. No, it was a great group effort. I think. We obviously wanted to play better than how we played against them in their barn there. So I think our start was important, and I think we came out and we controlled the play, and I think that just kind of set up the rest of the game for us.
That first shift, the way they come out though, draw the penalty there, and then to score on that power play. How does that kind of set up the game?
Yeah, it's important for us. I think our starts need to be better, and tonight was definitely a step in the right direction for us. But yeah, it was a kind of big goal by kind of our power play unit there, and when you're going to need more of that down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure.
Brendan and I were talking just a little bit earlier. You had a pretty good view of one of the non-goals out there, the one that was in the crease. Give us your perspective.
Yeah, I thought it was a good goal. Obviously, whatever, Toronto didn't think so, but yeah, we were seeing it on the kind of the replay there, and I think I think it was in the back of the net. But I think it was just kind of inconclusive, and they couldn't see it, so it was a tough one. But I liked how we still battled and just played a good defense from that point on.
Yeah, you can kind of see, like, at one point it looks like it does cross, but it was kind of chaos in the crease there. Not often you'd see 3 in one game, but that aside, you get the win. That's all that matters. What about Jacob tonight? I mean, after that, you talked about kind of settling in, but at the end of the second specifically, some of the stops he made to keep you that 2-1 game. Yeah,
I think throughout the whole game he was making big key saves for us. So, he's a great goaltender, and he showed it tonight. So. We're going to need more of that kind of down the stretch from him. And, you can't say it enough, but, he had a great game today.
Just one last one for you, and that's just the fact that you guys have talked about making sure all these games are meaningful down the stretch. As of now, 2 points back of a playoff spot, but just kind of describe the magnitude of this win and being able to carry it forward now. Yeah,
it's a big win for our group against a good team. And, we got to use this momentum and, keep it rolling down the stretch here. We don't have many games left, so we got to – but got to try our best to kind of win out here. So it's got to take it one game at a time, but we got the group to do it.
Congrats on the goal. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Andrew Mangiapane stopping by the Flames TV desk, and some good stuff there, talking about the goal that started off, and then obviously the way that they were able to finish it out. And we'll hear from Daryl Sutter. Saw him walking by as well. And maybe before we even get to Daryl, let's just take a look at how it all goes down tonight. The highlights here, courtesy a 2-1 victory for the Calgary Flames. And what won't be included is those no goals. We'll get to those in a moment. But here's the ones that actually counted. And it started on that power play, as he described. Nice to get the power play going early, and Andrew Mangiapane gets the goal.
Yeah, and the Flames not even just on the power play, but early in the game they were crisp, really passing the puck around well, and that's usually a good sign for this club.
No question, and this one maybe gets the benefit of a bounce, but Michael Backlund's right where you're supposed to be in front of the net. He draws one of those helpers, 15 on the season for Andrew Mangiapane and a 1-0 lead, but here is the response from the LA Kings. Sean Durzi gets some space walking in, and this was after a couple of already big stops from Jacob Markstrom, but Durzi makes no mistakes on that shot.
Yeah, just a little bit, again, of miscommunication here on this rush. You know, Flames have numbers back. I think they got a defenseman have to direct a little bit more there, give the forward some direction. Got to kind of fill that middle of the ice where that shot comes from.
Just tighten up that gap a little bit there, and then this obviously was a huge factor in the game because it ends up going down as the game winner. I think it was a shot, but maybe a perfect pass. I don't know.
I'm not sure what Trevor was thinking there, but he ran out of space. You got to give the defenseman credit. He came and took all of his time and space away, and good for him just not rifling it into the shin pads. He at least got it through. And
yep.
Yeah, I guess one heck of a pass.
It was a perfect pass, yeah. Either way, it was right on the tape of Walker Duehr, and he scores in back-to-back games, 6 points in his last 6 games. And we'll talk a little bit more about Walker Duehr as the night goes on, but maybe that line is, before we hear from head coach Daryl Sutter, what has that line given the team, not only tonight, but over the last couple of games here?
Well, they logged a lot of ice time again tonight, and like I mentioned, I thought that they were the line that was going early, and you need that some nights. Some nights, you know, your top players log all the minutes generally, but sometimes you need, again, your third, your fourth lines to create the spark, to get going, to kind of set the tempo, and I thought they did a really nice job of that, and I thought that from those lines there was a lot of body checks being thrown early, and it just helped establish the Flames game tonight. And I feel like they caught LA off guard a little bit and, you know, kind of ran with it.
Yeah, well said. And obviously closed it all out, which is the most important factor in this hockey game, carrying that 2-1 lead all the way to the finish line. Let's get some reaction from inside the Ed Whalen Media Lounge. Let's hear from head coach Daryl Sutter now.
Overcame some interesting calls. Still won.
Coached a game with 3 disallowed goals?
Probably, but not very. I thought 2 of them were goals.
Can you listen on the discussion on the second disallowed goal, what the ref said to you at the bench?
Which one
The
was
second
it?
one took a little bit longer.
Well, they just exactly what they announced, inconclusive. But if I'm leaning on the net and looking down there, I think I could see if it was in the net or not.
Is it nice to have a low-scoring game versus this team given the barn burners?
It's 1 goal game. Doesn't really make much difference. We're trying to, you know what, goaltenders both made some big saves and got some calls.
Well, that's the kind of game you preach, though, to hold that 2-1 lead for over 2 periods.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think I've preached that. I think maybe 10 years ago you did. I think now you're trying to score the next one and keep big guys off the shoots.
That's a pretty lethal team to hold off the.
Yeah, they got 2 big lines, that's for sure. You look at the Kopitar line, and you know, it's 3 top guys, and then they got 3 guys in the second line that they've traded or signed as unrestricted guys. Are pretty big horses for them.
In a game that's this close, when you have those kind of calls that go against you, how do you make sure that it doesn't have an impact on the mood of the bench?
Not much I can do about it. I'm not going out there.
Are you impressed by how your team, I guess, rolled with the
Yeah,
adversity?
you know what, because we won, I am. So if they just guaranteed you, if they just scored to make it 2-2, you'd ask the next question, the other question, right? So.
Daryl, can you speak to the importance of that breakaway save by Martins and you guys still ahead?
Well, there's 2 or 3 of them. I mean, it's short-handed breakaway they had. The one at the end of the first period, block shot, just, you know, it's under 30 seconds, just filter the puck through or behind. Power play also, so there's probably 2 or 3. I mean, give Markey full marks.
Good. All good?
All right, there's some thoughts from head coach Daryl Sutter, and we'll pick up the conversation. A couple of different talking points there. Jacob Markstrom, we'll get to him in just a moment, but maybe first let's go to what he said. Not often you're going to have 3 disallowed goals in the course of one hockey game. 2 of them he thought could have been goals. Let's take a look at all 3, how it all goes down tonight in terms of those no goals. Obviously, the last 2, I think last 2 are probably the ones he's talking about. Here's the first one, Rasmus Anderson.
I think the first one's the easiest call here. Hannafin's up there, gets in Rasmus's road, makes him make an extra move. And when you see the other angle on this one, pretty easy call, I think. From this angle here, foot's in the air, other skates inside the. That's a no-brainer. The next one.
The next two are interesting.
Especially the next one just took so long to figure out, and multiple camera angles. You're going to see that the ref's in a pretty decent spot here to try to make the call.
Yeah.
But again,
he calls it off right away too.
And puck's on the other side of the goalie's pads, so it's not a great angle for him either to make the call.
Yeah.
And
yeah, eventually this is the one that I think you can kind of see, you know, where the puck's coming back, but you don't actually see it across the line. So you could see the argument either way, I guess.
And Lindholm's stick is in the road here, so you don't get a great look as to where that gap is between the red and the black. And I just think if they don't see that, they're going to stick with the call on the ice.
Yeah, and the assumption would be that it did cross the line, but you don't see it. And then this one, we kind of took it at first glance, did look offside, but upon closer review, actually might have been onside. So.
Well, this one, there's only 11 seconds left in the game, so if you can't get her done from there, and old-schooled NHL, without all those reviews, the puck would have been dropped, and you just have to get it done. So good on the Flames to get it done.
Well, and maybe just specifically on that, because it happens 3 different times, 3 different moments of the game, still all one-goal games at the time when it is happening, but just the responses to it, because as you said, you know, there's 2 different ways you could handle that. You can either just continue on and play the way that they did, or you could, you know, it could let it get rattled a little bit.
Yeah, you can get angry at situations like that. Again, the first one pretty easy to let go. The second one, when you see the replay, you think that puck is in the net, and I think more than likely it was.
Yeah.
So easy for the Flames to kind of unravel, blame that, use it as an excuse. But I really liked their couple shifts after that goal.
Yeah.
They just picked up right where they left off. They got back to business and kept going. And I thought in the second period especially, this team took a lot of the momentum away from the LA Kings. They cycled the puck well. They controlled the play, and most of the play was down in the Kings end that whole period.
No question. And maybe we're going to go inside the locker room here in just a moment, but let's pick up on the other thing that Daryl finished with, and that's Jacob Markstrom. And obviously, I mean, I think 33 saves by the end of things tonight, but some of the quality that he faced, particularly at big moments in this game. What did you make of the night for number 25?
Well, he just looked super confident and positionally sound in his net. I mean, he wasn't having to make acrobatic saves, but he had to make some unbelievable saves just by his positioning, just by his reactions, and some of these second period chances by this Kings team, like they were grade A, especially the breakaway that Daryl has just spoken about.
Yeah, no question. And you're seeing a real good look at all of them. I think this is one of those sequences in the second. Kupari comes in, and then there was this one that was right near the end of that second period, and that was Matt Roy kind of point blank. But really throughout the course of the entire night, equal to every task he faced. And this is the one in the third period. Actually had a couple on Fiala, their leading scorer too.
Yeah, and just before this one, he makes a little pad save, fighting through the screen. Probably doesn't even see the puck, but again, just because of his positioning, he makes the save.
Makes the save, yeah, absolutely. He was all over it all night long, and we'll hear from him in just a moment. But let's first hear from Elias Lindholm, who, as we kind of talked about, was right in the middle of that no goal. We'll see, and I'm sure hear his perspective on that sequence. Let's listen in on Elias Lindholm in the Flames locker room now.
Probably should start with your goaltender, who had a couple of key saves for your group tonight. I know how much you guys value him, but he was dialed in again.
Yeah, he was sharp. Made some big stops, and he probably stole us 2 points there.
And to have 3 goals not go your way or disallowed, or however you want to slice it up, that's pretty unique. You don't see that. What can you say about the resilience of your group to kind of keep going?
No, it was good. I mean, obviously you never know, and we just stayed with it. Marky, like we talked about, played really well in that, and I thought in the third we had pretty good control.
During a long review like the second goal, how do you keep your energy on the bench, or how do you maintain focus when you're probably like the fans and just looking around?
No, you just gotta, stay in the moment and not focus too much on what's going on. So just try to, skate a little and get the legs going again.
You had the best seat in the house. Was that puck in?
I don't know. I haven't seen the replay.
Which is the best stop that you remember from Markstrom? Which one stands out for you?
Today?
Yeah.
maybe the one on Fiala was pretty solid. I don't know. That's just the latest one I remembered. It was probably somewhere out there. But no, that was a nice save.
The one at the end of the first period, the breakaway there to keep you guys in the lead. How big was that?
Yeah, no, it was huge. He was good all night. Looked really sharp, and we need to play like that.
Jacob, this was a team that you played tonight that kind of smacked around a little bit down in LA, and now you come back. I said Jacob, I'm sorry. Elias. Rasmus. But just the idea of a bounce back. It's a team that, not only you have to beat, but a team that you wanted to get back.
Yeah, obviously we got smashed a couple last week, and they're a good team. Play fast, have some good players that works hard, and they seem to have a really good system that works for them. So they're hard to beat, and obviously after the 8-2 loss last week, we want to get this one back, and obviously we need it. We're in playoff mode.
Elias, I know you were asked about the breakaway at the end of the first, but that whole sequence almost, like Fiala had a ton of time. It's almost in slow motion. How did you see that sort of save play out?
Yeah, I mean, he had a breakaway from the red line, so it was almost like a penalty shot or shootout. So it was. I thought Marcus stayed calm in there for a long time, and read him pretty well and made a nice save. So he was good.
All good. Thanks, Rossi.
Some good stuff there on Markstrom, and maybe a misname I think in there somewhere. I kind of caught the tail end of that, but that is in fact Elias Lindholm. And one of the things we were just kind of talking about, we looked at some of the highlights, but obviously a forward there played a big role in this game, but D-men were kind of all over the fingerprints of this hockey game here tonight, and not just scoring wise, but they're doing a pretty good job just being active here tonight, as you saw it.
Yeah, and to talk through a few highlights, because we don't have anything built right now. Early in the first period, shorthanded, Noah Hannafin gets a rebound chance on one of the opportunities. Yeah. Uyghur had a shot in the slot that led to a great chance. Yeah, Rasmus Anderson had the goal called back. Yeah. And then we fast forward to the second period. These guys, there was multiple times where you saw both defensemen from either side involved in the cycle, right. Keeping plays alive, forcing the play down the boards, jumping in, doing the little scissor plays and rotating with the forwards. And when that's happening, it requires the forwards to be paying attention, right? Yeah. And that requires responsibility on their part to fill in. And I thought the team looked organized. And again, I feel like their cycles took over the play in the second period.
As a defender, when you look at it from that perspective, how difficult can that be to, maintain positioning and make sure everybody's marked and all that, when you've got guys who are kind of active throughout the zone like that?
Yeah, the cycles are miserable. If a team does a great job of moving pucks in the boards, moving pucks high to low, you get your head on a swivel just trying to pick guys up. Right. It's not easy to track the puck in situations like that. The other big thing is it's if you're not communicating in your own end and you're not going to use your own hit and pin physicality as the defending team, well, then it just continues and continues and continues. So they did a good job taking advantage tonight.
Yeah, no problem. No question about that. Let's go back inside the Calgary Flames locker room. Let's hear from one of the stars in this game, and that would be the goaltender, Jacob Markstrom, 33 saves in the victory tonight for the Flames.
Jacob, pretty big win for your group after facing them down in LA there. It didn't go the way you wanted. What can you say about the bounce back effort here across the board?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not too happy about the last meeting against these guys, and still fresh in the memory. And today I thought we played a better game, and big 2 points.
How did you see the Fiala save? Because it was brilliant. We saw a number of looks at it, but how did you see that thing taking place?
They had some people in front of the net, and when it got up to the D, and I thought he was going to shoot it, and then he passed. It got a little late, but lucky enough it hit me. So
when you get 3 goals that don't go your way, and the one was quite a long period of time to wait and wonder, does that change your approach, or do you just kind of sit there like everybody else and just kind of wait to find out?
Yeah, just like you guys. I'm just chilling and relaxing and see what happens.
Jacob, I wanted to ask you about another Fiala save. Lindholm was just saying, like, he had a breakaway for so long at the end of the first there that it was almost like a penalty shot. So what's going through your mind in that moment?
I mean, it's better to just kind of not have anything in your mind and you know, kind of just wait him out because, you know, it wasn't going very fast and, you know, just wait to see what he was going to do and not bite on anything before that.
You take so much pride in what you bring to this team to be a difference maker on a night like tonight. What's that mean to you?
Big 2 points. That's, you know, put them in the books and then go back to work.
They came in with 19 goals, I think it was in the last 3 games. Other than your stops, what else helped keep them at 1?
I mean, obviously, you know, all the players sacrificing, blocking shots, and you know, making sure the vision is clear for me when the shots come from the outside. And you know, I thought we did a good job with that. So the guys played a good game.
Did you find the team was like better managing the play in front of you now?
All right, there's some of Jacob Markstrom, and obviously the only thing that matters in his mind and everyone else in that locker room is the big 2 points. They get that tonight. Another one of those key members, and really the stretch here. 21 games in the NHL, his second-year pro. Walker Duehr seems to be kind of finding a real niche here, and I know he talks about how he uses his speed as a weapon, but what have you seen from a guy that appears to be settling into a role in the NHL right now?
Well, he's doing what Daryl Sutter asks of most of his young guys. He's like, you're given an opportunity, make the most of it. And he's just been very consistent in his play. He hasn't had to do anything extremely flashy, but again, he's been skating, he's been physical. Him and his line mates have some really nice chemistry going on here as of recently, and again, he's not given Daryl any excuses not to take him out of the lineup. And tonight we see this line averaging right around 10, 11 minutes. And it's easier to be in a game when that happens. And it's nice to gain the trust of your coach. We saw them out there at the end of the third period when they're trying to lock down this lead. So it's all well deserved. And he's been a big catalyst for even Lewis and Lucic's play as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Milan Lucic said it at the end of the second period. They're just sort of playing to their strengths. Nothing crazy, just keeping it simple, but it's been effective, and they've used it to contribute some big moments here in the last couple of nights. Let's hear from Walker Duehr tonight as well, first star for the Calgary Flames.
What did you see as the difference out there tonight?
I thought just our 60-minute effort, staying with it the whole game. Felt like kind of like a playoff game. We had our pushes, they had their pushes, and you know, I thought Markey stood on his head tonight and gave us a chance to win for sure.
Trevor Lewis is a savvy veteran. Was that a bank pass or a missed shot?
I don't know, you might have to ask him, but if I'm a betting man, I think he was trying to shoot, and just a good bounce there for us, and I was able to put it in.
It was nice to come out on top of one of these one-goal games after having so many go the other way so far this season.
Yeah, I think it was kind of bound to happen, right? We've been putting in the effort, and yeah, it was nice to see one going our way.
A lot of the calls not going your way, especially with those disallowed goals. Just curious how you thought your team responded after each of them.
Yeah, I think just kind of having that next shift mentality, kind of flush it, and whether it goes your way or not, just getting back out there and getting back to the game plan for sure.
Well, that's a lot of horsepower down there to keep that one goal for the last 2 periods. What was the secret besides Jacob?
Yeah, besides Markey making those huge saves, I think just kind of keeping them to the outside and getting in the shot lanes and just not letting them use the seams, just kind of keeping them to the outside, I think.
Sort of seemed to me like one of the key moments played out in slow motion there at the end of the first period. Fiala's got a breakaway from the red line in, basically. How did you see that? What's kind of going through your mind at that moment, and how did you see it unfold?
Yeah, I can't really remember how we got the breakaway, but yeah, you know, he's a dangerous player coming down. But, you know, we have a lot of confidence in Markey, and we've seen him make that save plenty of times. So wasn't a surprise that he made the save, and really happy that he did.
You talked about having a playoff feel today. Did it have that sort of emotion that you guys want to have with those kind of games going forward with the playoff style?
Yeah, I think so. I thought we were all invested from the drop of the puck. Really good atmosphere. It was a really good crowd, and yeah, I thought it was a physical, kind of a tight checking playoff type game.
What was the mood on the bench and the feel when Markstrom was making those big saves that he made so many over that second and third period?
Yeah, I think it gives a huge jump to the group, right? You see him kind of bailing us out at times, and he's giving his best effort, so we can only go out there and do the same for him.
Have you noticed some fans starting to chant "do" when you're touching the puck?
No, I don't think so. I'm just kind of focused on carrying the puck there, but no, I mean, it's cool if they are, but no, I don't notice it.
We talked the other day, you know, Euromec a couple of years removed from college. You didn't know what was coming next when you signed. So what's it like to be in this wild card chase and be, I guess, such an impact in these games?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. For me, I'm just kind of take it as a regular game and not really get caught up in that stuff and just go out there and, you know, play my game and do what I can to help the team win.
Okay, thanks, Walker.
Original 16, a great way to celebrate things done well.
All right, welcome back, Flames TV Live. It's the post-game show brought to you by Original 16, and let's go straight to the out-of-town scoreboard because Flames take care of their business on this end, and now part of being on the outside looking in is you take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and it was not a favorable result in Boston, just the 4th regulation loss of the season of the Bruins, and Nashville hands it to them. So that's a tough one, but there is some good news, at least to this point, and that would be with the game that is currently going on in San Jose. There you see some of the other work. Edmonton, obviously, that's a kind of a tough one at the top of the Pacific Division against the Vegas Golden Knights. But the last page here, as we take a look now, updated into the 3rd period. So they're just about to drop the puck in the 3rd, and San Jose has a lead over Winnipeg, 1-0 heading into the 3rd period. So obviously the Flames are now within 2 points of a playoff spot entering the 3rd period there, and then we'll await to see what happens. But I know it's, you know, not the position. You don't want to be looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, but the most important thing is you're doing your part here tonight and Saturday as well.
Yeah, and it was nice with Nashville getting the win in Boston tonight, and, you know, like you said, handing them one of their very few regulation losses. Well, this LA Kings team tonight came in the month of March 9-0-2 with not a regulation loss. So nice for the Calgary Flames to hand one out as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep
Snaps
pace.
their 12-game point streak, and a huge win here tonight as we put a wrap on a 2-1 victory. The Calgary Flames make it back-to-back wins here to finish off this 3-game homestand, and they do so with a pair of goals in the 1st period and overcoming 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 no goals or disallowed goals, however you want to look at it. But an effective night for the Calgary Flames to get it done. Andrew Mangiapane, Walker Duehr, the goal scorers. Jacob Markstrom, sensational, makes 33 stops in the victory for the Flames. Next up, it's a road trip, just one off, into Vancouver for the first time this season. They'll play 2 more in Van, including one coming up this weekend, and then back at home on April the 2nd, a Sunday early game, 6 p.m. against the Anaheim Ducks. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live. The Flames within 2 points of a playoff spot as of right now. Back at it later this week in Vancouver.